Most men are invisible, not because they aren't smart, successful, or good-looking, but because they are leaking respect through tiny, silent signals they aren't even aware they're sending. Charisma isn't just about what you do right, it's also about what you stop doing wrong. I spent years wondering why I was always the quiet guy in the room that everyone overlooked. I thought I needed to be louder, but the truth was, I was signaling weakness in ways I couldn't see. So first things first, what actually is charisma? At its core, charisma is the ability to make people feel seen, engaged, and comfortable in your presence. It's not a gift you're born with, it's the result of how you manage your energy and the signals you send. In this video, I'm breaking down 8 silent mistakes you're making that are killing your charisma. If you fix even one of these, your presence will shift instantly. And if you master mistake 6, the one almost every man fails at, people will start looking at you with a level of respect you've never experienced before. Let's get into it. Mistake 1. The guilty eye contact break. Did you ever catch yourself looking down the moment a conversation gets intense, especially when you're talking to a girl you like? I used to think the mistake was looking away at all, so I would try to force eye contact, which just ended up looking creepy and intense. But eventually, I learned that charisma isn't about staring someone down, it's about where you look when you finally break that tension. In the animal kingdom, looking down is what the weaker animal does to signal that it's not a threat. In the human world, it's a silent admission that you feel inferior to the person in front of you. Imagine the tension is building, you feel that social pressure in your chest, and you look at your shoes. In that 1 second, you've told them, you have more power here than I do. And once someone perceives that you can't handle the heat, they lose respect for you. Charismatic men handle this by leaning into the tension. If you need to break eye contact, and you should, never look down. Instead, look slowly to the side as if you are processing a deep thought, or look slightly up. This simple shift changes the entire narrative. Looking to the side does not signal retreat, it shows that you're processing what has been said. Next time you feel the urge to look at the ground, catch yourself. Stay in the tension 1 second longer than is comfortable, then break to the side. It's the difference between looking like a guilty child and looking like a man who owns the room. Mistake 2. The echo laughter. If I could only teach you one mistake to stop doing today to instantly look more charismatic, it would be this: the echo laughter. Have you ever noticed a guy finish a sentence or tell a story and then give a tiny nervous laugh right at the end? He's not laughing because something is genuinely funny. He's echoing his own energy to check if you're still on his side. Subconsciously, he is asking, "Was that okay? Do you still like me?" This habit is a massive leak of your magnetic presence. It tells the other person that you are more worried about their reaction than you are about your own message. Real charisma is the courage to let your words hang in the air. When you speak, you should speak with conviction and then stop. If there is a moment of silence after you speak, embrace it. That silence is exactly where your respect is built. If your joke doesn't land, don't try to bail yourself out with a nervous giggle. Stay in that unshakable frame. By refusing to echo your own energy, you force the other person to meet you at your level. You stop being the guy who performs for others and start being the man that others want to perform for. Next time you feel that urge to fill the gap with a laugh, take a breath instead. Let your presence speak louder than your nerves. Mistake 3. The jealousy filter. Imagine you see a guy driving your dream car or walking with a girl who is clearly out of his league. What is the very first thought that enters your mind? For most men, the internal reaction is defensive. They immediately look for a reason why that person doesn't deserve it. They say things like, "He probably has rich parents," or "She's only with him for the money." This is what I call the jealousy filter, and it is a silent respect killer that broadcasts your insecurity to everyone around you. When you discredit someone else's wins, you aren't hurting them. You are telling the world that you don't believe you are capable of achieving that same level of success. You are essentially announcing that your own goals feel impossible to reach, so you have to tear down anyone who has already reached them. Truly charismatic men don't feel threatened by the success of others because they are grounded in their own vision. If they see someone winning, they don't criticize, they study. They don't pull others down to feel high. They appreciate excellence because they see themselves as part of that same circle. If you want to be the most magnetic person in the room, be the one who can genuinely celebrate a competitor's victory. It shows a level of confidence that 99% of men will never possess. When you stop filtering the world through jealousy, you start projecting the energy of a winner, and that is what people are truly drawn to. Mistake 4. The Noodle Handshake. Your first impression is decided before you even say a single word. It's decided in that first contact, your handshake. Most men treat a handshake like a boring social ritual they just want to get over with. They don't realize it's actually a high-speed data transfer of your confidence levels. When you give what I call a noodle handshake, limp, weak, or half-hearted, you are broadcasting a clear, silent message. I am not fully here, and I don't really back myself. You are handing over your authority before you've even introduced your name. By offering a hand that has no energy, you are telling the other person that you are used to being overlooked. Think about the last time you shook hands with someone who gave you a noodle handshake. You subconsciously labeled them as unimportant. Now imagine doing that to a potential mentor or the father of the girl you're seeing. You've lost your respect before the conversation even started. A charismatic handshake isn't about trying to win a grip contest. That just smells like insecurity. Real charisma is about intent. You want a firm grip where your hand fully meets theirs, holding it for just a second while making solid eye contact. Don't be reflexive, don't stick your hand out too fast or pull it back like you're scared. Move with purpose. A firm, steady handshake tells the other person, I am solid and I am worth your time. Mistake 5. The surface level loop. If you find yourself stuck in endless small talk about the weather or work, you are trapped in the surface level loop, and it's killing your magnetic presence. Most men use small talk as a shield. They ask the same boring questions because they are fundamentally afraid of friction or being judged. They think that by staying on neutral topics and being agreeable, people will like them. But everyone else is just as bored of the small talk as you are. They are tired of talking about the weekend or the office, and they are actually waiting for someone to take the lead and move the conversation towards something meaningful. When you refuse to take that step, you aren't being polite, you are just failing to lead. Charismatic men use small talk as a bridge, not a destination. They have the courage to share their values, challenge a point of view, and move the conversation into deeper waters. They aren't afraid of a little tension because they know that being the nice guy who agrees with everyone is the fastest way to be forgotten. The only reason most guys never take that step is because they are stuck in a fear mode that tells them to stay hidden. I created the confidence code to help you delete that social anxiety. It's a step-by-step video course designed to turn this kind of leadership into your natural default. If that sounds interesting, I linked it in the description. If you want to be respected, you have to be the man who is brave enough to break the surface level loop. Don't wait for someone else to make the conversation great. Be the one who takes them there. Mistake 6. The frozen mask. I used to think being masculine meant showing no emotions. I was wrong. I just looked like I was wearing a boring mask. For a long time, I thought that if I never smiled and kept a neutral face 24/7, people would think I was powerful and stoic. But what actually happened was the opposite. People just found me boring. I realized that humans are wired to read faces. Because my face gave nothing away, people felt nothing in return. They couldn't tell what I was thinking, so they assumed I was just stuck in my own head. Real charisma is about emotional range. It means you can be serious and focused when it's time to work, but you can also laugh genuinely and show high energy when you're having fun. When you are afraid to show any emotion, you aren't showing strength. You're showing a fear of being judged. You are trying so hard to look cool that you end up looking stiff and robotic. To be truly magnetic, you have to be comfortable in your own skin. Stop trying to look like a statue and start bringing your own energy to the room instead of just blending into the background. This makes people feel safe and much more drawn to you because they can actually feel your presence. Break the mask and show the world that you're a man who is actually alive and in control of his own energy. Mistake 7. The gossip trap. The fastest way to lose the respect of everyone in the room is to start talking behind someone's back. I'll be honest, there was a time when I would join in when people started talking down about someone who wasn't in the room. I thought it made me look like I was part of the inner circle. But I quickly realized that the moment I started gossiping, I was actually signaling that my own life was boring. I was showing everyone that I didn't have anything significant going on in my own world, so I had to feed off the drama of others to feel interesting. Even worse, it told everyone listening that I would probably talk about them the moment they left the room. Gossip is a silent respect killer because it destroys trust instantly. If you want to be the most respected person in the room, you have to be the one who defends the person who isn't there, or simply move the conversation back to goals and big ideas. That level of character is rare and people notice it immediately. When you stop talking about others, you start projecting a level of self-respect that makes everyone else want to level up when they are around you. It shows that you are the one who sets the standards for the group rather than just following the crowd. People will always trust a man who has the backbone to stay loyal even when it isn't the easy thing to do. Mistake 8. Rapid fire talking. If you speak like you're afraid of being interrupted, that is exactly why people will ignore you. When you rush through your sentences with no pauses, you are signaling that you don't believe your own words are valuable. It communicates a subtle fear, the fear that if you stop for even a second, the other person will get bored and walk away. This nervous energy makes you appear low status because it shows you are seeking permission to speak. It makes you look like you are chasing the conversation instead of leading it. The most respected men always speak slower than everyone else. They aren't afraid of the gap. You have to use pauses to let your points actually land. When you give your words space to breathe, you give the other person time to actually process what you're saying. While it might feel uncomfortable at first, you'll notice that people actually start leaning in to hear what you have to say. The silence creates a natural tension that makes your message feel more important. By slowing down, you force the room to adjust to your speed, rather than you rushing to keep up with them. Remember, the man who is in the least rush to be heard is usually the one everyone wants to listen to. When you stop rushing, you show that you are comfortable with yourself and your message. Next time you're speaking, try to embrace the silence between your sentences. It's the most powerful way to show that you own the space you're in. Most men make these 8 mistakes for years without ever realizing it, and then they wonder why they never get the respect or attention they want. True charisma isn't an accident, it's the result of inner security. That's exactly why I created the Confidence Code. This step-by-step video course is designed to help you delete those social anxieties and errors once and for all. It's the roadmap to turning this high-status behavior into your natural default. If that sounds interesting, I linked it in the description. If you're ready to build unshakable confidence, check it out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.